How were you employed back in 2016?
Special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Were you employed in any undercover operations during your time with the FBI?
Man, numerous.
And were you involved in an undercover operation related to this case that occurred on April 19th of 2016?
Yes.
Can you explain what that operation was?
My role in that operation, I was portraying a Latin King gang member, and I was instructed to conduct a bump.
All right, what's a bump?
Well, a bump is an investigative tool used by law enforcement where you would have either an agent or an officer working in an undercover capacity to have a face-to-face contact with either a person of interest or a subject in an investigation. And what you would look to do in a bump is either to extract information from that individual or give them information or possibly set up future meetings with that individual, or in some cases tickle or stimulate a wire or a phone tap.
And was that the case here, that the bump was designed to generate chatter or conversation on a wiretap?
It was, yes.
All right. And when you say you were posing as a Latin King gang member, did you announce yourself as a Latin King gang member to the person you approached?
I did not.
Okay, so you're just, that's the role.
That was my
You're
role.
in character.
That is correct.
Okay. And who did you approach and where was this done? Tell us what happened.
So I was instructed to do the bump or do the contact with Mrs. Donald Adelson, and this was in the Miami area.
All right. And was it right out in front of her residence there, the Icon, like in South Beach?
I believe it was outside her residence in that general area.
And what did you do when you approached Ms. Adelson?
Well, my instructions were to approach her and engage her in some type of conversation and to hand a flyer or a piece of paper to her.
Okay, I'm going to show you what I've marked as State 78 and ask if you recognize 78.
Yep. Yes, I do.
Is State 78 consistent or a fair and accurate copy of the flyer that you handed Donna Adelson?
It is.
Move into evidence, State 78.
Any objection? No objection. State 78 is admitted.
May I publish?
You may.
Do we have 78? Let me just do this. Alright, so we've got, this is just a news article related to the murder of Dan Martell. And what's the purpose of this, written over here, cell text?
So the cell number right there is my undercover covert phone number, and the $5,000 was what was expected to be received from Mrs. Donna Adelson.
Okay, so you hand her this piece of paper, and her instructions are to call this number, you want $5,000.
That is correct.
Gist of it?
Pretty much, yes.
Was the interaction that you had with Donna Adelson recorded?
It was.
How was it recorded?
It was recorded both audio and video.
All right, and is that something you're wearing or something that's done by a remote team of officers or both?
Both. I had a body recorder, audio and video, and it was also conducted by surveillance and security teams.
All right, I'm going to show you what I've marked as 105. Have you had an opportunity to review State's Exhibit 105, which is the side-by-side of the image of what the camera captured that you were wearing, as well as the one from across the street?
I have.
All right, and that's got video and audio on it?
That is correct.
Does it fairly and accurately capture the interaction between yourself and Donna Adelson during the bump?
It does.
All right, move into evidence, State's Exhibit 105.
Any objection? No objection. States 105 is admitted.
And once this was concluded, did you maintain the cell phone that had that number ending in 6570 on your person and continue to be available to answer it if somebody called?
To the best, yeah, the phone I maintained the phone, and because I was doing other casework, I would, be available the best I could be.
Okay, so you have the phone with you, but you're not going to answer it if you're at your kid's school or on another operation. I mean, there's situations which might require you not to answer it.
That is correct.
Okay. As part of this operation, did you at some point make a phone call to the Adelson Institute?
I did.
All right, and was that in the same undercover capacity as this gang member?
Yes.
Okay, same character.
Yes.
All right, and was that call made on April 28th of 2016?
I believe it was.
And what was the purpose of this, what I'm calling a follow-up phone?
Yes, it's like a follow-up bump. It was basically to try and get Donna Adelson on the phone, and also to additionally stimulate the wire.
All right, and that call, was recorded as well, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And then is there an additional call bearing your voice in this case from Charlie Adelson to the undercover?
That is correct.
Have you had a chance to review that call, which is contained on State's Exhibit 107, call FF?
I have.
And were you able to authenticate your voice in that call?
Yes, I did.
All right, and did you complete a call authentication log, which I've marked as State's Exhibit 128, initialing by the calls that bear your name?
I have.
All right. Judge, at this time I'd ask to introduce State's 128.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 128 is admitted.
And Judge, I also failed to introduce the call authentication log pertaining to Ms. McBanawa, which I've marked as 127. I would move that one into evidence by stipulation at this time as well.
127 is admitted.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
So 107, I referenced that previously. That contains a call from two calls. One call from you to the Adelson Institute, which I previously asked about, and then a call that I did not ask about, which was Donna Adelson to the undercover line. Have you had a chance to review those two calls on this exhibit?
Not completely the one from Donna Adelson to me.
Okay. Do we have a stipulation in reference to that call, or do we need a recess for him to authenticate Donna Adelson to the undercover?
We'll stick to it.
Judge, I move into evidence States 107,
107 is admitted at this time.
and I don't have any further questions.
Cross-examine.
Good morning, Special Agent. How are you?
Retired.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your role was to pretend to be a member of the Latin Kings, right?
Latin King gang, yes.
And you handed Donna Adelson a flyer,
I did.
and you and your team accidentally didn't make a copy of that flyer, right?
Well, my role in the investigation was to be the undercover. That was handled by the investigative team.
But the flyer wasn't made. No one kept the original, right?
I later found out that it wasn't, but yeah.
We provided the original to you because the Adelsons kept the original, right? They didn't destroy it.
I don't know what they did with it.
Now, when you saw Donna Adelson, she told you that you scared her, right?
She was startled.
And you told her that you knew that Katie and Tuto were being taken care of, and by being taken care of, you meant paid, right?
That is correct.
So law enforcement understood that as of April 2016, when the bump occurred, Katie was continuing to get money, right?
I don't have all the details from the case, but that's what I assume was happening.
So if Catherine Magbanua came in here yesterday and said that she wasn't getting money in the months following, that would be inconsistent with what the bump was set up to be, right?
Objection, using mischaracterization of the evidence.
Sustained as to mischaracterization. You may re-ask the question if you can clean it up, Mr. Rushbaum.
The whole point of the bump was you knew that Catherine Magbanua was getting paid, right, over time.
That's what I was told to say to Mrs. Adelson.
Now, during the bump, you told Miss Adelson, Donna Adelson, that you were the brother of someone who was incarcerated, right?
That is correct.
And that person needed to be paid as well, right?
Taken care of, yes.
And at the time that you did the bump, you knew that Luis Rivera was incarcerated, right?
Correct.
And the idea was to pretend to extort Donna Adelson by posing as a violent gang member, right?
That is correct.
Now, on April 28th, the bump was April 21, correct?
I don't believe so.
What day was it? I always get it confused. April
I
19th.
believe it's the 19th.
You hope to spur some activity, right? After April 19th. That was the plan of the bump, right?
Disperse, you mean disperse in what way?
You hope that phone calls would happen and that someone would pay the money, right?
That was the intention, to stimulate or tickle the wire.
And no one paid the money, right?
No, they didn't.
So then 9 days later, you called the Adelson Institute, right?
I don't remember the exact date that I called.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Whenever you called, you identified yourself as Sammy.
I believe so.
And you spoke to someone. It was not Charlie Adelson, right?
That is correct.
Now, until this call that you made to the Adelson Institute, no one had called the undercover number, right?
I don't believe so.
Catherine Magbanua had not called the undercover number, right?
No.
Sigfredo Garcia had not called the undercover number, right?
I don't recall if he did or not.
Okay. Do you think that you ever spoke to Sigfredo Garcia?
Oh, I know I didn't.
Okay. Did Sigfredo Garcia ever leave you a voicemail?
I understood that. Well, I did miss a call from him. I was working my other cases, but I don't have access to the voicemail, so I don't know if he left a call.
Have you ever heard a voicemail from Sigfredo Garcia?
I have not.
Okay. Now, on the 28th, Charlie Adelson called the number, right?
I know he did call me. I don't recall the date.
Okay. And he called from his own phone, right?
I don't remember what number was on the caller ID.
Okay. So you don't know that he used his cell phone?
I don't know. I don't know his number.
Now, he didn't say much on the call, right?
Well, not initially, and I did most of the talking.
And you used words on the call like in reference to. Do you remember using those words?
I did.
And you used the words on the call like do the right thing, right?
That is correct.
Charlie told you at the end of the call that he would call you back. Do you remember that?
He said he would.
But he never called you back.
Not that I know of. No.
Now, still no one paid any money, right?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And so, and on the calls you were hearing that, well, strike that, Your Honor. Let me turn your attention to May 4th, 2016. Okay?
Okay.
At around 2 or 3 in the morning, on May 4th, 2016, you sent Donna Adelson a text message to her cell phone, right?
I know I sent her a text message, but I don't know about 2 or 3 in the morning. I don't know the time or date.
Do you remember that it was very early in the morning?
I don't. That was
Okay.
7.5 years ago.
Fair enough. The text message was pretty threatening, right?
I don't remember the content of the message, but I don't remember the content.
Well, let me ask you, over time, did the threats get worse?
Well, no, because I mean, I know that I did the bump. I remember talking to Charlie, and I remember calling the Adelson Institute and sending the text message. But I didn't add any additional threats.
You don't
That
think
you
you-
say threats? I didn't.
You don't think that the text message was stronger than the original meeting or the letter that came in between?
Again, if you can show me the text message, but I haven't seen. I don't think it was that bad.
Did you say in the text message who was the puta who had called me?
I think it's puto.
Okay.
They said puta.
Okay. Fair enough. My Spanish is not great.
No, that's fine.
I think I'm going to defer to the witness.
Spanish on this, Mr. Rashbaum.
I will as well. I will as well. Nonetheless, you were trying to act like a Latin king, right?
I was, and quite frankly, I was instructed to be not so gang-like with Donna Adelson.
Okay.
Actually, to be polite.
Okay. On May 6, 2016, you received a voicemail from Donna Adelson at 11:30 in the morning, right?
I don't recall.
Do you remember getting a voicemail from her?
Well, again, if I receive a call and I don't answer the phone, these voicemails are remote. They're not on my phone. I don't have access to it. The investigative team has access.
Fair
to
enough.
it.
So you wouldn't remember trying to call her back a couple times after she... Fair enough. Just asking what you remember.
Yeah,
You don't recall calling her back a couple times, right?
I don't, sir.
And at some point, you spoke with her on that day, right?
I believe I spoke with her.
And
I don't know about that day.
you're aware now that she recorded the call, right?
I have no idea.
Okay. During that call, do you recall she told you that she didn't have anything, that she doesn't know what this has to do with her? Do you remember her saying that?
I don't recall
Okay.
that conversation at all.
She tells you that she didn't do anything and doesn't know anything?
I don't recall that conversation.
She tells you that there is a reward being offered and that if you need money, you should go to the police. Do you recall her telling you that?
Like I said, I don't recall any of that conversation.
Now, on these wires that were spurred by your undercover activity, are you aware that Catherine Magbanua told Charlie that she and Sigfredo had called the undercover number many times?
No, sir.
Are you aware that Catherine Magbanua told Charlie that they tried the number and it was a non-working number?
No, sir.
It was a working number, right?
Oh, it is, yes. Absolutely.
Are you aware that Catherine Magbanua told Charlie that Sigfredo left a nasty voicemail message on the undercover number?
No, sir.
Now, you're aware that Sigfredo or Garcia called that number one time and it wasn't from his cell phone?
I was told that he called, but I don't know what number he called from.
You don't know that he called from a burner phone,
No, sir.
whereas Charlie Adelson called from his own phone?
Again, I don't remember the numbers, and I don't remember, who's calling from what phone.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Redirect examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
You may step down.
Yes, sir.
Will Mr. Jimenez be recalled?
No, sir.
Have a good day, sir. Please call your next witness.
They call special agent. How long have you been with the FBI?
Since 2014.
Did you participate in an operation back on April 20th, 2016?
Yes.
And was that a surveillance involving the defendant in this case, Charlie Adelson?
Yes.
What was your involvement related to that operation?
I was conducting physical surveillance in the area of Miami Beach and its surroundings, and then also maintained availability to move northward if the surveillance venue changed, and deploy surveillance hardware if needed.
Okay, so originally there was an attempt to surveil a meeting between Donna Adelson and Charlie Adelson, and you were involved in that?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your role in that particular effort?
At the beginning of that day, I was involved in surveilling the bump, as it's been called.
Okay, yep.
And following that, I maintained availability in that area, and then I received word that there would be a meeting taking place north of Miami Beach, so I made my way north.
Okay, I think I'm with you. So you were present at the bump doing some recording from a remote location?
I was not recording at that time.
Okay, what was your role there?
I was, we call it QRF, Quick Reaction Force, just for the security of the undercover,
Okay,
or
so
whoever
just
is involved.
part of the team for security purposes. And then from there you moved to, is it a restaurant known as Dolce Vita?
Yes, at the time that's what
All
the
right,
restaurant
and what was your role at the efforts to record a conversation at the Dolce Vita restaurant that day?
I was instructed to make my way towards the Dolce Vita restaurant. At that time that I arrived, I was handed some recording equipment in a bag, and I went inside and positioned myself as close as possible to Mr. Adelson.
All right, so you knew who you were trying to record when you
Yes.
went into the restaurant. And was Mr. Adelson already inside the restaurant when you entered?
I would have to think yes, but I don't recall exactly.
All right,
I think I'm almost certain yes.
okay, and was there another person present as well that you were attempting to record?
Yes,
Who was that?
Catherine Magbanua, Katie Magbanua.
Okay. And was the objective just to get as close as possible without being made and
Yes.
try to record their conversation?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about the equipment. You said it was inside of a bag. What does that look like?
It was a messenger bag, computer bag size type thing you would carry books or a laptop computer on, and kind of had like perforations, like a bunch of holes in it.
All right, like a mesh.
Not quite
Fabric?
like a mesh, but like if you think of, it was made out of like leather or fake leather, and maybe the whole front-facing area of it just had a lot of holes spaced about a ½ inch to an inch apart all over.
All right, and was the bag outfitted with audio and video recording equipment?
Yes.
And are you familiar with that equipment?
I'm familiar with its appearance, and it had a sort of an on-off button. Beyond that, I had no real technical expertise for it.
Okay, was it in proper working order that day?
That was my understanding.
All right, and you were able to review the recording, correct?
Yes.
So it did record audio and video that day.
Yes.
Where were you positioned in relation to Mr. Adelson and Ms. Magbanua?
So they were seated toward about as far back in the restaurant as you can go, and I positioned myself with my back against the wall, so seated, maybe 10, 12 feet away, and there was, I think, one table between us and them.
All right, and what were they doing when you observed them at the restaurant?
They were having a conversation.
Was there background noise going on in the restaurant? What type of environment was it?
So yes, there was background noise. It's my best guess that the air handler for the restaurant was sitting in the ceiling, probably directly above either my table or theirs, but there was a sufficient amount of background noise.
Was there another agent inside the restaurant also attempting to record the meeting?
Yes, another FBI employee did enter the restaurant.
All right, and did he have similar equipment as to what you had?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay, and if you know, was the recording that you made more successful or the one that he made?
I believe my recording was more successful.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to review State's Exhibit 109, which is the Dolce Vita recording from the equipment that you had that day?
Yes.
All right, and is it fair and accurate as far as what was captured that day?
Yes.
All right, Judge, I move into evidence 109.
Any objection from the defense?
None other than the previous motion.
States 109 is admitted at this time over defense objection.
And we talked about the date, but I'm not sure the time. On April 20th of 2016, is that correct?
Yes.
And what was the time that this meeting occurred?
I would have to reference notes or reports from that day. It would have been in the afternoon.
Okay, 3:45, sound about right?
Yes.
And about an hour in length, sound about right?
Yes.
No further questions.
Examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, by the time you got to the restaurant and started the recording device, Catherine McBanerwa and Charlie were already there and talking, right?
That's what I recall. Yes.
Okay. And you have no idea what they said before you got there, obviously, right?
No.
Okay. Did you see them speaking in the car for 15 minutes or so before entering the restaurant?
I don't recall that. Several years ago, obviously, at this point.
Fair enough. But you have no idea what, if anything, they spoke to each other about in a car before they got to the restaurant?
Their conversation in a car? No, I would have no
Okay.
direct knowledge of that.
The restaurant was pretty loud with a lot of background noise, right?
I wouldn't say egregiously loud, but it had enough background noise that from the distance of me to you, you would not be fully capable of recognizing the content of a conversation.
Fair to say you couldn't really hear much in terms of what they were saying to each other.
Correct.
And that was with you being just 8 to 10 feet away from them, right?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Redirect examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
Currently employed for a private investment firm.
What about back in 2016?
I worked for the City of Plantation Police Department.
As part of your duties there, were you called upon to participate in a surveillance operation involving this defendant, Charles Adelson?
Yes, as a member of the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force Miami Division, I was.
Okay. And was the surveillance that you conducted of Mr. Adelson related to a wiretap that was ongoing at that time?
Yes, there was current electronic surveillance of Mr. Adelson at the time.
All right. What were you asked to do?
Conduct physical and electronic surveillance of Charles Adelson.
All right. And did part of that involve going to the Matsuri restaurant?
Yes.
Is that a sushi restaurant in Miami?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And what were you supposed to do once you got into the restaurant?
I had a covert electronic surveillance audio and video recording device and attempt to record Charles Adelson and his father, Harvey.
All right. And do you see Charles Adelson in the courtroom here today?
I do.
Could you point him out and describe what he's wearing?
He's sitting at the defense table wearing a blue blazer and a blue shirt and a blue tie.
The record will reflect the witness has identified the defendant. All right. And is this on April 21st, 2016?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What equipment were you using for this operation?
It was a recording device that recorded audio and video.
All right. Can you describe the setup at the restaurant and where you were located in relation to Mr. Adelson?
Harvey and Charles Adelson were sitting at the sushi bar. I took a position directly next to Harvey.
Were you able to hear the conversation that they were having?
No.
Was the recorder closer to them than you were?
It was right between myself and Harvey Adelson.
Have you had an opportunity to review the recording that's captured on State's Exhibit 12?
Yes,
And is that a fair and accurate recording of the interception you made there at the Matt Surrey restaurant on the date in question?
yes, it is.
All right, and it's video and audio, is that right?
That's correct.
All right, let the record reflect the witness has initialed this exhibit, and I will at this time move it into evidence as State's Exhibit 112.
Any objection?
No objection.
Case 112 is admitted.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Back in 2016, you didn't really like sushi, did you?
Not that much.
You didn't see them enter the restaurant, right?
No,
And you didn't see them talk outside the restaurant before they entered the restaurant, right?
no,
There's no recording of that you, to your knowledge, correct?
that's correct.
Now, during the conversation, do you recall some whispering happening?
Yes,
And you couldn't hear what was whispered, right?
that's correct.
When they left the restaurant, could you see them talking in the parking lot?
Yes,
But there's no recording of what they were saying in the parking lot, right?
that's correct.
You participated in the arrest of Charlie Adelson as well, right?
That's correct.
And that occurred in April of 2022.
Yes,
And the arrest happened at around 6 a.m. in the morning.
yes,
And during that arrest, one of the officers got caught in a barbed wire fence, right?
yes,
That was behind Mr. Adelson's house, right?
yes, on the side of his house, I believe.
Okay. Also, during that arrest, there were a lot of security cameras, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. When Charlie Adelson was arrested, he surrendered peacefully,
Yes,
and he consented to allow the agents to come in the house.
I wasn't aware of that.
Fair enough. May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Huh?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Redirect examination.
No questions, Judge.
You may step down. Please call your next witness.
Special Agent Pat Sanford.